Good evening, Speed Gaming. Welcome to the daily ALTTPR race. We've already started off with a fire rod in Link's house. We are going to give you something a bit different tonight. The lovingly referred to McBoss Shuffle. And that is open boss shuffle, full boss shuffle with, as a wrinkle thrown in, map compass shuffle as well. So, first time ever, it's a mode that's going to be used in the main tournament, and we'll see how it goes here. I'm Drossi. I'm here with my good buddy Super Saturn. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Happy to be here.
I could have sworn it was the fire rod in Link's house, but maybe I'm wrong. Though either way, our two bottom runners started at the sanctuary, so they didn't actually get the rod. One other thing to warn our viewers about here, due to a slight bug, there is no quick swap. And Rage checks the map and realizes that this is map shuffle, so you can't find out pendants and crystals without getting the dungeon maps.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I would do for sure, but always good to check.
Hey, there's our first sword sitting right there in the mushroom spot.
We could call that a French vanilla sword in the Lost Woods.
It's close to the ped. Did you catch what was in Lumberjack? I didn't really.
I know I was watching the piece of heart be picked up from the Thieves' Hideout.
I know you like your pieces of heart.
I do love them.
Oh, not telling us that's another sword on Lumberjack. Hopefully we won't need that. I have seen some horrible seeds where you need to beat Aga because stuff is locked behind that second sword.
If only we could get Bugnet Aga in this mode, but I don't think we'll be seeing that.
Now, you have to have one sword at least. You can get there with one sword and cape, but... I mean, some runners will do Bugnet for swag.
I respect it.
Looks like we're not getting much except some money in Blind's Hut.
Yeah, interesting how all of our runners have pretty much converged already.
Yeah, skill's a bit ahead, but as we said, the bottom runners haven't been to Link's house yet. And there we find a glove in the well. We've also found two compasses, so that'll tell us the boss of the dungeon when we get there for Pod and Swamp.
That's always nice to find. I think it's undervalued sometimes because having to walk all the way to a boss when the boss is in stealth mode because they're holding their own compass, it's never a good feeling.
Yeah, the downside is you have to actually walk into the dungeon to see who the boss is. It's not like finding the map where, oh, I'll just check the overworld map and then I know whether it's a pendant or a crystal.
Yeah, definitely. We got a moon pearl as well from the bottle vendor.
Yep, certainly a good buy for $100. Speaking of $100, we get it right back from the back of the tavern.
I do wish I'd. Well, maybe we'll still get to see it if they get bunnied from a poof or whatever. But I want to see Squirtle's bunny form.
Yeah, I still don't recognize all the sprites in their bunny forms. There's a full heart on library, probably not going back for that.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Ooh,
What was there on race?
Flippers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Skele, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Realizes it just in time as he goes to save and quit. But definitely want those.
Let's see if a record time is set for the race here. Probably not with the throwing technique.
I'm surprised he finds it faster to throw the bushes than slash them.
My experience, and this is nothing, but my experience is slashing is 8 seconds, throwing is 9 seconds, and dashing is 7 seconds. I've never gotten below 7, but I'm sure somebody has frame perfected it to like 6 or 5 seconds or something.
And Skilly is going to take his glove and go straight to back of escape.
Yeah, always a nice check. Really dense, obviously. Very quick.
We get the small key there, so could go to Dark Cross, decides not to.
Yeah, I have a feeling other runners are going to check Dark Cross. We'll see here if Tiberius does that.
It is, of course, out of logic without a fire source, but it's not that bad.
I would skip it because I can't do that dark room. Oh, okay, all right. Tiberius also skipping it.
Let's see what Raids does here, then. Raids is going for Dark Cross. Hey, that's at least
pays off.
That's at least 3 compasses we found already, with Skilly finding the Ice Palace compass.
Yeah, wow, that's actually good information. I think that'll be really appreciated. Oh, a Houlihan. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. You get early glove and flippers that starts pointing towards Zora, and the Houlihan will give you Zora money at this point.
Ooh, Bombos in the dam. I assume we got that Houlihan from Graveyard?
Yeah. That's the only place you can do it at this point.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar. I just know that you can bomb, I guess, the first couple pixels. If you skip them, then you get to the Houlihan room.
Yeah, if you don't have flippers, you can do it from Useless Fairy. But we have flippers. And I missed what was on Dark Cross, but I don't think it was anything.
I think it might have been. No, they all have 10 arrows, so maybe not. I thought it was an arrow.
Uncle Bombs. Yes, chat's
Uncle
confirming.
Bombs, okay. Well, they've already got the ice rod, so what could possibly be an ice rod cave?
The fire rod?
I will say with the stream compression, I definitely looked at it, and it looked like a fire rod to me. Even the last
it can be really. It can be really hard to tell, because I also thought it was the fire rod, but our trackers think it's the ice rod, and
sadly just an icy rupee in the ice rod cave.
And Skilly, oh yeah, since he has the flippers, he's probably gonna do Hobo first from the top as part of flippers checks rather than the normal route. Oh, and I totally missed that we got the mirror in Mini Moldworm Cave.
Oh, wow. Nice little bottle sitting there on the Lake Hylia Island.
Could be interesting because we'll have access to it once we get Dark World access. Like, basically, we're a hammer away from being able to get that bottle.
Yeah, it could be very quick. Oh, a cape off of the hobo. What is going on?
Yeah, remember how we were discussing Aga? We're now a lamp away from that.
I think, well, don't we just have egg at this point? Because, oh, the lamp. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, so for Dark World, we either need a lamp for Aga or a hammer or mitts.
I love these seeds that keep you guessing until the very last item how you're going to get to the Dark World.
And here's our first look at a waterfall cave. Ah, another map and a compass. We are really loading up on those compasses. Once we hit the Dark World, we'll know the bosses right away when we get into dungeons.
Indeed, some very avid cartographers in the Light World.
And just bombs on Zora Ledge, but maybe 500 bucks will buy us something from Zora himself.
It's been so generous so far, I feel like Zora's got to be a scam, but let's see.
Zora, a scam?
Never. Oh, okay, I stand corrected.
Not a scam. That gives us mountain access. That gives us Tower of Hera access.
Yeah, definitely a nice find. And in logic, I mean, it's so rare that you see the early Zora in logic, and he gives up progression too.
Yeah, and looks like Skilly is going straight to activate that flute. But yeah, when you get both the glove and flippers that early, the seed is kind of screaming Zora.
Yeah, definitely.
And looks like all of our runners are heading in that direction. Kivarius entering Zora's domain now, Raid's going into the waterfall. Koi doing the more conventional routing from Ice Rod Cave. I'm curious about that bottle, just because we haven't found one, and you never know what Sick Kid has. Interesting. Skilly decides to go to the eastern area rather than to Death Mountain. I guess there aren't that many checks on the mountain without either the hammer or the hook shot, but still, I'd take the flute as pointing me to the mountain.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. I mean, Saw has 3 checks. Eastern itself, you can get to several checks, especially in map compass shuffle mode. You get quite a number of checks that are possibly items in Eastern. So, I see the logic here personally.
And TR's green pendant.
Hey, there's our lamp. We got Aga.
And there's the Hera compass too, so that's actually useful. We can now climb the mountain and we'll know what the boss of Hera is when we get in there.
Yeah, so it looks like we are going up the mountain.
And the lamp puts
The
old
old
man in logic.
You know, the old man always baffles me as far as how this guy has existed in this terrifying cave and constant avalanche of boulders, but
And just kind of sitting there for who knows how long waiting for Link.
in the pitch black with no lamp. Just 10 arrows. Nice little tip.
And he doesn't even seem all that perturbed. He's just like, "Hey, yeah, can you help me to my cave?" As opposed to, "Get me the freak out of here!"
Different times, I suppose. Not much on top of Spec Rock there.
Not much in Spec Rock either.
I wonder if we see anybody decide that they're just gonna go for it and just go for Aga as soon as they get access.
You have to wonder about that fluted Zora, though. I mean, you have to follow it.
It is a very distinct breadcrumb trail. Ooh, Tiverius taking a death from a boulder there. They are the most dangerous enemy in the game. I think maybe second to Dead Rocks.
That was way too quick a check for me to see the boss. Eastern Compass, we are picking those up left and right.
Yeah, it's saying it's Moth in here.
Yes, it is Moth. I caught it the second time around.
That's exciting.
And the lamp actually lets us get the vanilla big key out of Hera Basement. So it could be for that and not for Aga.
So Moth will come with a few spikes, right? Not all the typical spikes, but a couple.
No, Moth is just a weakling, comes with no spikes.
Ooh.
Does come with its normal, like, fire circle attack, or whatever those beams it shoots out are. But it's pretty well a weakling in the Moldorm arena.
Yeah, it literally just feels like beating up an insect at that point, I guess.
Of course, we only have fighter sword, so I think it takes 16 hits.
Well, it could be worse.
Okay, Koi also doing the Saha's Closet route.
Now, forgive me if you've said this before, but to clarify, big keys are guaranteed to be in their vanilla location in this mode?
No, they're just guaranteed to be in their dungeon.
Right, okay.
But given the Hera layout, there are only 3 places the big key can be, so there's a 1 in 3 chance of it being vanilla. So you see it a fair amount. There's our first actual item, a heart container. And there's our second item, a rupee, though this being MC Shuffle, Moldorm may well have an item as well. Not well, Mothula in Moldorm spot. Oh, and Raids has made it over to Aegina. Interesting.
I've been burned by a late Aegina check, so I can respect this. It's a map.
So yeah, you can see that Moth is shooting those things out, but if he moves down and you can get above him, it's really easy because he only ever fires downwards.
So
There
see,
are those
there are some spikes, but they're not coming onto the platform.
right. They don't really know what they're doing, and they're not hurting us. And down goes Moth.
That's very nice.
Oh, so we get a crystal for our troubles, but didn't really get any progression up there. So I think it's Eastern or Aga at this point.
Yeah, well, we can see through Tiverius what's going to come out of Eastern. So far, just 50 rupees. Oh, the boots on Desert Ledge. Okay.
Interesting. So we need either the book or the mitts to get to them.
Yeah, Koi looks like he's going to do escape and then maybe
Oh
into
yeah,
Aga.
right. We haven't seen Front of Escape either. Have we even seen Uncle?
I might have missed that if it did happen.
I always forget about that in open. So do half the runners.
There's a bottle.
Okay, now we have Sick Kid.
Uncle was 3 bombs. Okay.
Your uncle believes. I don't know why that's what the credit says when Uncle has bombs, but that's what the credit says.
Is that what it says? That's really funny.
Oh, wow. Front of escape was the answer. Hammer in Zelda's.
Well, that's nice. That'll save Koi a visit to Aghanim, and maybe our other runners might not check that.
I imagine Skilly is going there if he's doing Uncle right now. But let's see if Tivaris and Raids dig up anything in Eastern. Oh, that also means that Koi can do East Death Mountain now that he's up here.
Yeah, so it does.
So that routing choice, as far as we can tell, really paying off for Koi.
Big Key's enjoying being in vanilla locations today so far.
Oh, and I missed this, but chat's saying Vidi is the boss of Eastern.
Yeah, so Eastern definitely, aside from being bow locked, a boss you don't really want to fight without a bow particularly much.
And by the way, we should note this is full boss shuffle, so every boss will appear somewhere in the game, and 3 bosses will appear twice. And Skilly is going to get a bit of a surprise here. Also, I don't know why you don't use the Ice Rod strats of freezing the green guard and then throwing it at the ball and chain guard. Much more fun than beating the ball and chain guard with the fighter sword.
I've never tried that. I've definitely ice rodded the ball and chain himself, but...
Oh no, the swag strat is Ice Rod the green guard and throw him at the ball and chain guard.
That is very swag. Speaking of Ice Rod, have we seen the stun prize from Ice Rod or the Hammer Shatter prize?
I don't think so, since we just got the hammer to try it with. Though I'm surprised no one tried. Maybe just because magic hasn't been easy to come by until relatively recently.
Looks like Tiverius is opting to go to Aghanim.
Oh no, okay. Phew.
Thought better of it. Hang
And
on a second. There's a Zelda down there.
Sick Kid just paying us a finder's fee. Well, there isn't a Zelda there, but there's a chest in her cell. And that's more important. I mean, which is more important? Zelda or that little mallet she left behind?
Yeah, that's a good point. I suppose she was doing some hobby crafts in her cell.
Also, we're not seeing another nice strat to use is that the Ice Rod Okos the Blue Guards.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, so we see from Skilly's map check that Skull Woods is a crystal. Though, of course, we don't have the Fire Rod to open the back of it.
Yeah, interesting move to move straight to the back here without the Fire Rod.
Well, I think he wants to work middle to front because he's not planning to go to the back. And because this is MC Shuffle, there's a potential for more items in the front than there would normally be. Oh!
Oh, there we go. We're saved. The bug net.
It was all worth it, as Koi takes down Moth. And I'm sure Tivarius is glad he didn't do the Aga play now. But I think given that we got that early flute and Hera had nothing, Koi is likely to find something important here on East Death Mountain.
Yeah, it's probably some progression, right? We're pretty locked into this at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we have the Dark World, but the game screaming Zora and then Zora having that early flute really makes it seem like there's going to be something on Death Mountain.
Yeah, I say that also, but I guess we also have a good chunk of swamp. We have a lot of other checks, so.
Ooh, Hookless Swamp.
Yeah.
So just 20 bucks in Spiral Cave there, as Scaly is mostly finding keys in Skull Woods. Ooh! You see what Tivarius got out of the chest game?
Yeah, the Titan's mitts. Very nice.
Almost French vanilla.
It just kind of made its way out of Thieves Town, and then somebody was like, nah, I gotta pawn this quickly.
Hey, and Koi just found the Master Sword, or Paradox. Important those mitts give the boots. And the book Koi found also gives us access to the boots. Actually, that book should send Koi right back to Ether Tablet, since he now has the Master Sword to pull it as well. Oh, there's a sword on Bumper Ledge, so maybe that's what the cape's for.
That's all 4 of our swords, right?
Yeah, so swords are just coming our way. I don't think we're going to get butter, but it's nice that we know where Tempered is, and that's easy enough to obtain. So what about Ether Tablet? Like, Master Sword's certainly nice to have and ultimately necessary, but it's not real progression. Ether Tablet just has a map.
Oh, the Misery Mire map is a nice one to have, because it's kind of out of the way.
Oh, and with that cape, Koi is gonna do Spike Cave here.
This is a gutsy Spike Cave, but...
Well, he has the fairy in the bottle.
Right, I forgot we had the adoption program earlier in, in the front part of Escape. I always like when one of the fairies, waterfall or big fairy, gives you the fairy in a bottle.
In that case, I feel like she's just, reincarnating herself into that bottle.
Oh, you have a nicer view of it than I do. Oh, we're going for blind here. Very good.
Raids does the famous double take as he sees the Master Sword on Bumper Ledge.
With book, let's hope we see a pedestal check.
Hey, and Skilly's about to grab boots here. Oh, and Koi's checking 5-6 crystals. Good call.
We have Quake as our access to Misery Mire, which is interesting. It's the one medallion we have not yet seen.
And Desert and Thieves are 5-6 today. So I haven't seen who the boss of Desert is, but depending on these bosses, we could have Pyramid Fairy access pretty soon.
Yeah, it's funny. This cell and I have some unpleasant history, but good on Tiverius for remembering to go to it.
And Hype Cave is moderate hype today. We get our first bow, and I think that was the bee adoption program.
Very nice. Apiary Hobbyist Beginner's Kit.
There we go.
It's Vanilla Blind!
Which is unfortunate because you can't do the script. So Tiverius is just using the cape.
Yeah, nice little wall grab there to hold the magic.
Yeah, it's pretty effective for him, especially since Blind is nicely staying at the top of the screen.
Thank you, Blind. More
And there's
maps.
Blind. Yeah. The map of Thieves Town. Now we know it's a crystal.
Well, thank goodness. Blind cursing his fate as gets destroyed. How did he find me? I had the map.
There's the pod map. Now I wonder.
We must be running out of maps to find. This is ridiculous.
That was way too quick a check for me to see what pod was. Is Skilly gonna do the back of Desert? I don't think we've gotten the compass there. But he also doesn't know it's a 5-6. Koi giving us our first look at Cave 45, which is just a piece of heart, but we're still relatively low health and we haven't found any armor upgrades. Tiverius not quite able to make it around that edge. This is one of the differences between basic logic and advanced logic. Basic logic will require the hook shot to get through there. Advanced logic assumes you know how to finagle around that edge.
Yeah, it's easier than it looks, but easier to follow than it looks as well.
And definitely easier with a controller than with a keyboard. Not that I know
Oh, for sure.
too many people who play this with a keyboard, but there are a few out there. Okay, dig game, just some more bombs. Where's Koi going? He can't go north. Okay, he is mirroring. Yeah, he's still gonna need his mitts. And Skilly, unfortunately, is in pod without first doing Hype Cave, which would, give him a bow, which would most likely let him complete pod. Okay, Mire and Swamp are our other pendants, so we have full pendant and crystal knowledge now.
But there's a small chance, I guess, that there's a progressive bow somewhere in pod, right?
Yeah, the infamous bow-locked bow, right?
Hang on a second. I think Skilly just used bow there. I think.
Oh, did we miss him picking it up?
I'm pretty sure that they.
Yes, he has a bow. Okay. Yeah, the trackers did say that the app was laggy tonight, and we have 4 runners, so I guess we just missed him going into Hype Cave. Okay, now it makes sense.
Very impressive tech to materialize a bow.
Oh, chat is telling us that was in Desert Map Chest.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we know where our two bows are.
In which case, yeah, okay. So basically, tempered silvers are going to be pretty easy to come by this seed.
I guess, do we get mandatory ice Trinex, ice Armos Trinex? That's really what we're looking for here.
Oh, and one of our trackers, Professor Pixie, pointing out that the Desert Big Key was also vanilla today.
It is quite entertaining. I think this seed in some ways is just kind of like, yeah, I'll move some of these things.
Maybe you like accidentally spoke truthfully and didn't even realize it when you said that, hey, the big keys are all vanilla, right?
It's a, it's a chance.
Ooh,
Oh, fire rod. All right.
yeah. So pod play, good play. That opens up the back of Skull Woods. It also means we can beat a Trinex if we come across one, and so Argus is the only boss we can't beat at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, being able to show up anywhere is just horrifying to me.
Actually, does that potentially put us in no mode depending on whether there's an Argus in our way or not?
I'm not sure.
Um,
Oh, we got Helma in Desert. Okay.
okay, so we might need Samaria if GT Big Key is on the right side, and then there's, Hover Seed / Moldorm Bounce problem. I have no idea which, if any, of these runners can hover or Moldorm Bounce. But we'll also find out from the Ice Palace layout whether the hookshot could be in GT.
Well, that's another crystal out of Desert. I believe that's our first clear of Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just a red rupee off of Helma, who was hiding there. So does that means no Helmacopter, right?
There could be two Helmas. Remember, there are some 3 bosses out there that are duplicated. We don't know which ones until we find them.
Ah, okay. I've always been a little foggy on what full shuffle means, and it's like one step beyond simple, right?
Yes, simple is where the duplicated bosses are always Armos, Lanmo, and Moldorm. Full is where some 3 bosses are duplicated, but you don't know which ones.
Well, I'll keep my hopes up for Helmacopter. Oh, we have a cold stare.
Good thing we have Bombos and Fire Rod at our disposal. Those spikes are kind of annoying to have to work around, honestly.
Yeah, without the fire rod, this would be just a mess. I mean, it's already become one, but hopefully.
Well, 2 puffs down.
Very good.
And now Koi is our only runner without boots and mitts. So he needs to get to Village of Outcasts soon.
Yeah, it's interesting that we've just by chance, kind of, on the ones that weren't, known ahead of time, that we've sort of happenstanced into crystals here. So Seems pretty efficient so far. I believe we have maps for everything else at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we have enough maps to know where our pendants are, and we know which 2 crystals are 5/6 because of the bomb vendor. So even if we don't have literally all the maps, we have process of elimination.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, so chat telling us, and I never knew this, that the devs didn't think to make Coldster immune to spike damage. So you push him into the spikes, and that does butter sword damage to him.
Yeah, I have had that luck with Cold Stare spawning in the back of Skullwoods. It's a quick fight that way.
Oh, and was that the hook shot just there in King's Tomb?
I was not paying attention to that corner. I'm sorry.
It's hard with this resolution to tell the hook shot from the Arrow of Destiny, but I think that was the hook shot. Not confirming that was the hook shot.
The Arrow of Destiny being the single arrow.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Okay, so now we are in 1720 seconds of no mode, where the other 520 seconds are if GT Big Key is on the right side.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
That's not bad at all, 40-ish minute no mode. Now we just have to see how long it takes these runners to actually get their tempered silvers, which we know where they are, but no one's found either yet. Okay, Thieves Big wasn't quite vanilla.
At last. The streak is broken. So Skelly going to fight Vidi, I think, here in the back of Eastern?
Yeah, and it would have been nice if he'd visited Hype Cave and gotten his silvers. Make the fight a lot easier.
Yeah, now this is something that we can actually say that the lack of a visit to Hype Cave does actually affect.
And Raid's bravely taking down Blind without any sort of safety usage. Vidi leaving behind his own map. And a crystal. Oh, Skilly's using the put on the cape and just keep hacking away as long as you're slashing, you're not using magic.
Now that is interesting. I did not realize the slash also prevented magic usage.
Yeah, lovely cape glitches.
The cape is my favorite item.
Hey, and there's Blue Mail finally in armor.
Nice. Not progression, but nice.
Given that we're still on our first row of hearts, definitely nice. Tyvarius taking down Desert Helma. Skelly going to East Death Mountain. He will get his Tempered Sword here. And his book.
So it's still fairly early, but do you think that there's any sort of a lead developing here, seeing as how we basically have most of what we need?
I'm honestly trying to figure out which of these runners is gonna put all the pieces of the puzzle together first. Tyvarius is about to hit Hype Cave. He'll get his... No? Yes.
That's the second time Tiberius has faked us out. Tiberius likes to make us sweat.
So he will be the first to pick up silvers here. That'll definitely help him on Vitreous.
Yeah, potential to be very quick this seed.
Koi also using the cape and hack strats on Vidi.
Yeah, that's one that's going in my back pocket after watching this.
Skilly about to pick up his tempered. Ooh, Tiverius opening Pyramid Fairy. This could be interesting if Samaria's in there. I can't think of anything else that could make it too interesting, though.
Well, you see, it could be shovel, and then the shovel could lead us to mushroom, and then the mushroom could lead us to powder, and then the powder could give us.
We've been mercifully spared fetch quests this whole seed.
We really have. It's been very straightforward.
Skilly gets his book, so he'll probably be going to Ether Tablet.
Oh, mushroom!
You comms curse! And the fairy gives us a B for a B. Not really what we wanted.
Is it a good B, though?
I think it might have been. Raid's doing Smith's Chain. We haven't seen that either. Smith doubling our money. Something a lot of people forget, you actually have to pay the Smiths 10 rupees.
Is that so? I did not know this.
And once in a blue moon, you'll see a runner forget that and walk into Smith's without 10 rupees.
That's very interesting. I don't even think that they say anything about a fee for it. And do they in the vanilla game?
Yeah, it's like temper my sword, only 10 rupees. Something like that.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh no, dumped a good B to empty the bottle and got a regular B from it. Oh, that's terrible. Well, Mothula's pretty much been dealt with, so.
Not much in Super Bunny Cave. And of course, Skilly doesn't know the King's Tomb is the answer for doing Hookshot Cave, though again, I don't see what we're gonna even potentially find besides Samaria.
Skelly hovering, that's very nice.
So if he never goes to King's Tomb, he's not going to be completely SOL unless he runs into an Argus somewhere. And Half Magic was nice.
Very nice. Makes that cave even more broken.
And just a heart container. Actually, I think that was Sank Heart. So to recap here, the seed's been really nice, handing the runners items left and right, but it's given them so many items that no one has put all the pieces of the puzzle together yet.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see when they start to converge again, and all start rushing the tower, pretty much. Which can't be too far away, really. I mean, obviously a number of bosses aside, but nothing has been tucked away in a remote corner of the world and some awful check.
So what's Skilly going to do now? He's at Link's house. Is he going to go to Hype Cave? No fluting. Oh, Ice Palace.
Yeah, well, with that half magic, it's going to be pretty easy. No Cane of Samaria to do the Icebreaker glitch, so that's always a little bit of a letdown, but
He may be, since we've seen that he can hover, he may be banking on being in go mode right now.
yeah, fair enough. So no need, just push straight down. Do an Ice Palace bomb jump, maybe? I guess we'll find out, based on, I mean, how many other chests he opens up. I would say, because Skelly was checking Hookshot Cave, probably he is looking for that hookshot. I mean, in case he runs an Argus in a mandatory spot, right?
To answer chat, Boots are in Desert Ledge, and Hookshot is behind them on King's Tomb. And since we haven't done that, Samaria, we'll get a long prediction going. I don't know how to have, points that you want to wager. But if you do, put a wager on whether we're going to need Samaria for that GT Big Key or not. Because that's really the only thing that could keep Skilly from being in go mode right now.
Yeah, that's just to get into the right side of GT for the checks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely nice when you see Swamp and Mire and TR all being pendant dungeons. You just hope you don't have to go into any of them.
So far, nothing big out of Ice Palace either, so...
And actually, we won't have to go into TR because the worst case scenario is we need Samaria, and we're not going to find that in TR.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I do like how map compass modes can make things go a lot quicker, just because of the volume of checks in the dungeons that you have to do anyways.
And Koi is going to be our first runner to the Skull Woods boss.
Oh, let's see.
Tiverius takes a cold stare death but has a fairy. Skilly beat that boss so quickly I didn't even see who it was.
Well, speaking of cold in the back of Skull Woods, this is going to be quick. It was Lanmo in Ice Palace.
Yeah, so we now know where both cold stares are, so that's one case of the double bosses. So no cold stare on Moldorm 2 or anything like that. Raid's picking up his fire rod. Which I guess is officially raids in 17, 20 seconds go mode.
That is such a specific number. It's quite funny.
Now you've got me trying to convert it to a decimal. About 77%? 76, 77?
Yeah, sure. Why couldn't it just be out of 20? Much easier.
The number 22 does show up a lot in this game, though. It's the number of tiles in the tile rooms as well.
That is some very specific trivia. Thank you.
I feel like there's a third place 22 shows up even.
Yeah, so chat saying, is that 2 cold stares? That is the second cold stare.
Koi, of course, not having gotten his boots and therefore not having gotten his hookshot, is employing bomb strats against the pen gators, but quite effectively.
Yeah, no boots, no hook shot against pen gators is a little annoying.
And blink and you'll miss it. Tiverius is going to take down Vidi in a hurry.
And I opened my eyes, and what happened? Oh.
But did you open all 10 of your eyes?
I tried, but there was something poking them. Silvery.
And as these runners retrace each other's steps, this is a good time to remind you to give them all a follow. All solid runners, regular members of the community, good guys to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you to the runners. Always a good show. And yeah. Thank you as well to our trackers, Professor Pixie and Tau Decay. And of course, yeah, thanks to my co-host here, Drossi, who apparently has fixed the runner and commentary bot today.
I wouldn't say I fixed it, I would just say I got it working. It could very easily stop working again. Wow. Koi bombosing those pen gators.
Sometimes you just don't want to deal with them, you know?
But the thing is, then you have to sit there and watch them burn.
For me, that's cathartic. Tiverius going up to catfish. Have we seen a catfish check yet?
Nope, that was also our first mushroom check, and it was just a lot of money.
Yeah, it must have been a really rare type of mushroom.
Drugs fetch a good price these days.
It makes the good stuff. Ivarius doesn't even have time to accept the catfish's gift of 3 bombs.
Skelly finally gonna finish off Desert. That'll be his 7th crystal. Amazingly, he hasn't been to Hype Cave and therefore does not have silver arrows.
Also, not to King's Tomb, and therefore doesn't have Hookshot.
Yeah, that's a little bit less surprising than doing the seed without going to Hype Cave, but
That is an interesting one to skip.
yeah, it is true. The risk of not having a hook shot is Argus could still be in GT. The big key could be in its vanilla room, and we could have Ice Argus, or we could have Argus in Landmo 2 room.
Yeah, we were discussing this before, but Argus is not possible on the Moldorm platform, right?
Right.
So the chances are, reduced. Which actually makes Raid's no modes, or sorry, Skelly's no mode a little bit more significant than 17 out of 22. Oh no, because they can't even get to that side anyways. Wait, yes they can.
Yeah. Yeah, so, right. I guess it's a bit less than 17 out of 22 because they'd need to be able to handle
Ice Armos Argus if it's required.
Right. Or Argus in Landmo 2 room, which would be hard required.
Yes.
The great thing, though, about Argus in those rooms is you beat the little R guy, and then the bulb jumps up, and the game's like out of sight, out of mind, and just opens the door.
I have seen that. That is really funny. Because Argus still comes back down, right? But it's like you can just say, forget it.
Yeah, it's all very weird.
Yes, congrats to Skelly for the 7th crystal. We are on our way here. Just barely past an hour into the seed. Very impressive.
And if you want to put in a guess for how many checks it'll take Skelly to find that GT big key, we'll also be hopefully able to resolve our prediction soon.
Yeah, there is a chance that Skelly can't actually answer our question. He is indeed locked out of the right side without the cane. And that's possible, of course, the cane shows up somewhere in there, right?
Yeah, that's entirely possible. And for those of you who have joined us recently, Skele has already demonstrated that he can hover. So the only thing that could stop him regarding the hook shot is if there's an Argus in his path.
Yeah, it would be very impressive if you could hover the puffs off of Argus. That would be pretty cool. Don't know how it would work, but
Tiverius picking up his 5th crystal there, as Koi just got his 5th out of ice. Koi is finally going to the mire area, going to get his boots.
yeah, if this pays off for Skelly, this is going to be lightning fast.
Yeah, we could be looking at 115-ish here if it pays off. Maybe not even.
Oh my goodness.
Oh!
First check.
Not even opening the second chest? Come on, if you get the God Hope... Okay, yeah. If that's a small key, you kind of want it.
I was going to say, like, first of all, the small key, but second of all, there is still the chance of Argus.
And it's
Landmo.
the God Hope room.
No way that... Okay, this must be a plando.
Not locked behind Samaria. Congratulations to those of you who wagered that way.
Now, hang on a second. If Landmo is Argus, if Landmo room is Argus, we could still have a required Ice Armos Trinex down there. And Trinex could have the hook shot. I mean, not the hook shot. Oops, my bad.
No.
The hook shot's way back there. But, I was just dreaming of the terrible possibilities. But, yeah, I mean, we could still see we could still see Landmo be a block here, the Landmo room.
Yeah, and for these other runners, as Koi now has silvers. Yeah, we don't know about Koi's or Tiverius's hovering skills. Kind of surprised Koi never checked Bumper Ledge. I guess at this point you're just trying to clear dungeons as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think you've got all these items. You just hope for things to show up on the way because you basically know you can deal with anything that comes up.
Well, here's the moment of truth.
Come on, Argus. Oh.
Okay, so Skilly's got this. Given what we've seen. Oh, right, he does not have silvers, so this is not a totally trivial fight with that. I forget the name of that beam guy in the corner.
The shooter?
Yeah, he has some name. Oh, Tiverius finds his hook shot. Well, that makes life easier for him. Okay, Skilly just using Fire Rod because he has half magic. It's interesting, he's on Tempered Silverless, and all our other restreamed runners are on Master Silvers. Skilly mistimed his first ether shot, had to do it again.
It is the only answer to these rooms, though, with Cane of Samaria being... Well, it's the only quick answer, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can always hack away.
Yeah. And I'm sure these runners would do it more gracefully than most.
Koi puts 1 silver into Helma King's forehead. That's, I believe, his 6th crystal. I don't think he's done Thieves yet. I know the tracker's acting up, so it doesn't have the fact that he's finished Ice. But I believe it's correct that he hasn't done Thieves.
So some interesting discussion in chat here about specifically Koi and hovering or rather bouncing off of Moldorm, and it's an interesting thing that he's usually afforded to you in GT, that you can bounce off of Moldorm to skip that gap, but there's a good chance Moldorm's not here.
Yeah, well, we're about to find out. And
well,
it is.
okay.
Not only is it Moldorm, but the Moldorm has 2 eyes. Who would have guessed?
Regular Moldorm.
And first try hover. It does only have 4 hearts, has to be a bit careful.
Yes, sorry to everyone who was hoping to see an exotic variety of Moldorm. We get a regular binocular Moldorm.
Okay, so I guess Koi must have done Thieves or he wouldn't be coming up here like this. Raid's having a bit of trouble with the Ice Palace bomb jump. Which, without Samaria, you really need to be able to do this. He's too high up. Though, yeah, he's still about a pixel too high. Is he going to try the hover now?
Yeah, I mean, if
That's
you
the
can't...
hover, okay,
All
nice.
right. If you can't do the slightly easy solution, do the very difficult solution. Makes sense. So yes, Koi does have Thieves Town Crystal and is charging into GT. Oh, nope, I lied. Koi just wanted to make me look silly there.
And
Well,
by the way, we have 11 runners total. No one's finished, so Skilly could win this outright.
yeah, I mean, it's certainly a gutsy play to say, you know what, forget Hype Cave, forget Hookshot. I'm just gonna keep on running and see what happens. And you know, you make those big risks, and it pays off.
Yeah, on to phase 3 already. Did you find the arrows in the Dark World?
At least it's not, you don't have a bow, dingus. Already
Well,
into phase 4.
Pod was a crystal, so we didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, here we go. Spin 12 times.
Even just the timing and the distance with that fire rod, very nice.
Okay, so Koi does have... he was probably just looking for another sword or the hook shot.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Koi is just gambling on Moldorm being there or the hookshot being somewhere in between. Seeing as how those who are familiar with Koi's runs are saying that Koi usually depends on Moldorm bounce, so that'll be interesting. Something to ask Koi in the post-game interview.
And there goes Ganon. Get your GGs in for Skilly, who will be just over 112 here. Really nice.
Blazing fast. Well done. GG.
And he finishes with an official race time of 1:12:13. First on the restream, first overall.
Yeah, I don't know that the pieces could have been placed much more perfectly for Skelly there.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that Raids is going up via via Super Bunny Cave rather than via Paradox Cave, because if he went up via Paradox Cave, he'd get tempered.
Yeah, I mean, we have to assume that Raids is not going to bother.
We could say the same about Well, Tivarius went up via... no, he's mirroring here to do Hera.
Oh, interesting. Koi is visiting the fairy room. Don't see this very often.
Well, you don't have powder, so I can definitely understand it.
That room, if I'm not mistaken, I think is the one room that proves that the devs in Vanilla Link to the Past knew about bonk across gaps.
Indeed. It's even in the Nintendo Power Strategy Guide, which I still
Is it
have.
really? That's amazing.
Duck call for sale indeed. So, of course, Raids and Tivarius both have the luxury of Hera-potting, don't have to sit through cutscene. And we are joined by our winner, Healy. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. GG.
GG, Skelly.
If you're saying anything, we can't hear you. You're muted, it looks like.
Hey, sorry, I couldn't hear anything for a second, but I think I'm here now.
Oh, yeah, well, didn't help that you were muted. Anyway, GG.
GG, what a silly seed.
Yeah. Well, what was also silly was that you managed to go through the whole seed without ever visiting Hype Cave.
I know, I thought maybe should do that before GT just in case. I needed Kane or Hookshot. It's kind of ridiculous that I got to skip both of those, but I
Well,
figured I was already clowning it so hard, I might as well just go all the way. So,
It paid
Hook-
off.
yeah.
yeah, definitely. Hookshot was King's Tomb. Hype Cave was just more surprising. That was Silver's.
Yeah. What about the Kane? Just very curious about
We
that.
never saw it.
Really? Okay. Huh. Pretty sure Ice Palace was Kane locked, so can't be in GT at least.
Did the Ice Palace boss drop a key? I don't even remember.
Yeah, he did. I think.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Okay, our tracker confirming that. I didn't even notice at the time. So yes, the game expected you to have the cane.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I ended up skipping a whole lot, so who knows where it is.
I was just thinking as Raids and Tiverius were going through their God Hope room. You almost didn't take advantage of the God Hope room. You mirrored out and then had to go back in.
I felt really silly about that. I hit the buttons in the wrong order.
Oh.
It's like, oh, I gotta get my mirror ready. And I hit Y before A, and I was like, oh. Realized after that I should have just gone the other way, I guess. Well, I don't know, actually.
We were wondering if you ever considered the possibility that you might have encountered Argus in the Landwell room.
Yes, I was very scared about that, but figured, whatever. Let's just try
Figured
it.
the odds were with you. They
Yeah.
clearly were.
Yeah.
Ooh. Koi didn't get the Moldorm bounce that time.
Oh yeah, funny that ended up being Moldorm anyway, so you could bounce it.
And not only Moldorm, but a two-eyed Moldorm.
Yeah.
Since when does Moldorm have two eyes in Boss Shuffle? But yeah, right. Once you demonstrated hovering Hookshot Cave, which did get you that nice half magic, we knew that you'd be fine if you didn't find the hookshot.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't Argus. In Lamo 2 or potentially Ice Armos, in case Big Key was back there too. That could have been a problem.
Speaking of Armos, Tiverius is on Armos with his nice silver arrows. But the funny thing was, you were the only one to get Tempered Sword. Koi never went to Bumper Ledge, Raids and Tiverius never did Paradox Cave.
Oh, that's kind of weird. Did anyone get baited into Aga? Because I was very close to doing Aga. Just curious about that.
Tiverius did a little bit of a pirouette. He was about to go up there and was like, hey, maybe I should do Front of Escape first.
Okay. Yeah, I was definitely going to do Aga if I didn't find anything in the basement there. Going to skip Eastern for sure.
It was definitely holding out to the end to give you the access there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been a huge relief to see that hammer. But I guess one big thing, what do you think of this mode in general, since this is the first time it's been raced in any sort of public setting?
Well, I really liked MC Shuffle just like without the boss shuffle in the first place, because that was on ladder for like one season. I thought that was pretty fun, and I do like the new compass feature. So I think it makes sense that they put those two together. So I think it's pretty cool. I know some people don't like how like the compass still doesn't work until you go to the dungeon anyway. But
okay.
I like it though.
Sorry, I just have to say this about Raids. He was refusing to use another arrow because he only had 4 arrows left and wants to make sure he has 4 arrows for Ganon. There were arrows under a pot in the next room. That was the only pot he didn't pick up.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Sorry for cutting you off. You were saying, Skilly?
Oh, overall I like the mode. I think it's a nice twist on like something normal without going too crazy.
And it was nice that the compasses were very early in general, it seemed.
I mean, it was extra nice in this seed because I got to scout for Argus in case that was a problem. Like, I think the only boss I didn't already know about was the desert boss, and then land mode 2, which of course you can't see in advance.
Right, and of course in GT Basement we were wondering if like the big key might be vanilla behind Ice Argus or something like that. But...
yeah, that was on my mind for sure. I also never saw a Trinex. That's kind of weird. Which is funny because I actually had the things to kill him for once in Boss Shuffle.
I mean, if Ice Rod is in Link's house, of course you're not going to have to kill Trinex.
Yeah, makes sense.
Boy making the Moldorm bounce with his last bomb.
But in that time, Tivarius has caught up to him, actually slightly past him. Oh no, does Koi have... Oh yes, right. Koi went to the emergency restock room and got a fairy, so that is definitely paying off for him there. That would have been bad otherwise. I'm just amazed that no one managed to put together tempered silvers.
It is odd that no one would check both, or either, I should say, Paradox Cave and Bumper Ledge. I'm also amazed that there was like no dipping of pendant dungeons required whatsoever.
Well, TR, you couldn't because we never found Kane.
Yeah, very true.
I'm stunned about that. That's really crazy.
And Meyer, you couldn't because we never found Ether. Quake, rather.
Oh, I thought it was Bombos.
Oh, it's marked as Quake on the tracker. Maybe it's mismarked, I don't know.
It was Quake. I'm pretty sure it was called out really early.
Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. It didn't go there anyway.
Oh, okay. Tracker's saying we never saw it clearly, so maybe it was Bombos. To be fair, we have a pretty chunky stream today.
Tracker's saying they trusted chat. Never trust chat.
Thank you for setting the record straight, Skelly.
But yes, our 3 other runners are all on their Ganon fights now. It does take 28 spins to get through the first 3 cycles, and then you just have to turn them blue a few times and fire in your silvers.
Yeah, Master Sword Ganon, even with silvers, it's a chore.
Well, and especially because one of the advanced strats to make it easier requires Cane of Samaria. Because you position a block so that you don't recoil when you spin, but we don't have Samaria. All told, I think I'd rather Tempered Silverless than Master Silvers.
Yeah, that's sort of my feeling on the issue, too.
Koi uses another fairy here. Tivarius is on phase 3 here, whereas our other 2 runners are still on phase 2. So he's positioned to bring this home first.
We are right. Nice convergence here, actually, of these 3 runners. We got right down to the seconds here, probably, for difference.
Yeah, I mean, Raids and Tivarius did somewhat of similar things, but overall, everyone's routing this seed was so different.
Yeah, Tivarius did miss the torch glitch, but it doesn't matter as much right now, as you can see with silvers. So we've got Tivarius finishing up.
Get your GGs in for him.
Assuming he defeats the evil bridge boss.
And he crosses second on our restream, third overall. 124.53, a minute behind our second place finisher, Chemo, at 123.51. And
Koi.
right behind him, 14 seconds later, Koi, third on the restream, fourth overall, 125.07. Get your GGs in for him as well. Yeah, so Skilly, you were the only one who, quickly rushed the mountain.
Yeah, I didn't want to do ice without Kane if I could help it.
Oh, I meant originally for Hera.
Oh, yeah, I did do that. That's right.
But I guess now that we have... who joined us? Koi's in here, okay. And Tivarius is in the waiting room. But GG Koi.
Yup.
Yeah, GG's Koi.
Yeah, you actually were pretty well positioned in the early game, getting that hammer and then going up the mountain and getting your Master Sword.
Yeah, I imagine if that actually led to anything, how cool that would have been.
Well, I think the big thing was just being late getting your boots.
Yeah, I mean, I did a Gina before I got the flute, and I'm not walking all the way to protect the ledge, which I'd probably forget about anyway, so... I tried to save 20 seconds and lost, 5 minutes or so. Well, more than that, really, because apparently the hookshot was in King's Tomb. So if I had the boots earlier, I probably would have made that check and not have to do 8 attempts of Molder and Bounds.
Hey, at least you got it.
I was actually looking pretty forward to forfeiting after I ran out of bombs. So it was very disappointing for me when I got it on the last attempt.
And we are also joined by Tivarius now, and we also have Raids finishing fourth on the restream, fifth overall, 126.23. So we got 4 of the top 5 runners in this race here.
Hey, I'll take that.
Just go get the hook shot. That's like just go get the hook shot. Was there any knowing of the cane? Did we see the cane anywhere?
We have not seen the cane anywhere.
All right, so no matter what, you still have to make this. Gee, I sure hope it's not in tile room, gamble.
And then immediately sigh relief when Hope Room lives up to its name for once.
Yeah. I don't know. Overall, for me, this was a pretty Monka-esque seed. I hated this seed completely. Because you're never in go mode. The entire seed, you're not in go mode. So, every single check is should I do it? Is it worth the time?
Yeah, I guess the other thing, Koi, was you never checked Bumper Ledge.
Why? What was that, a sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But then again, Raids and Tivarius never did Paradox Cave.
Yeah, I got lucky and never had to touch the mountain, other than my initial dip into Hera, which was fruitless.
I did the same thing.
Yep. So that was handy. Look at that, a bunch of just Master Sword silver finishers. Gotta love it. Nope, Skelly had tempered, of course.
Oh, wow. Lana Bean in chat is saying that she's checking the VODs of some of the other runners, and Kane was in Swamp Big Chest, so the game wanted you to dip a pendant dungeon.
Why?
Ice Palace boss had a small key.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's fair. I forgot about that one. No, like Koi was saying, it always felt like Schrodinger's go mode. Do I just check stuff on the way? Do I not? And then even, I don't know about everyone else, but I never found ice or mire maps. So I'm just well, I can do ice, so I hope that's the crystal.
Same.
Yeah.
I found all
I
the
was
pendant
in-
maps, so...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know at least a couple of you got the Mire map.
Yeah, I definitely did. I think that was maybe Ether Tablet.
Okay. I
never
had a
found the
little
book.
chuckle, though. The first 2 crystals I had done were Thieves and Desert. And then I was looping the Dark World. I'm I'll go see what the red crystals are from the bomb vendor. And the big red bomb was already there. I'm okay, I'll just grab that then.
I was in maybe go mode with the mitts. When I got the mitts, this was the point where I might be in go mode. Except I don't know if the boots are required for GT Big Key or Desert. I don't know if Kane's required for GT Big Key, and I don't know if the hookshot's required for Argus in 5 different boss locations. But I actually was in go mode, so that's awesome.
Speaking of that, Koi, what if Moldorm hadn't been there for you to bounce off of.
Oh, I would have forfeit, obviously.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I was wondering if you had a backup plan.
No.
I mean, that was the backup plan, right?
It's a plan.
And and was that also your backup plan if Argus had been in Landmo 2 room?
No, I might have mirrored and finished GT and then forfeited.
If Argus had been in Landmo 2 room, you would have had to have gone and found the hook shot.
Yeah, I would have mirrored and then, like done the last check in GT that I had access to.
I see.
I would have forfeited.
I see what you're saying.
Although I don't know if I had logical access to that with just 2 keys. Maybe not.
Oh, right, because you couldn't go right without Samaria. It would have just been the torch.
Yeah, just the double firebar room.
That too from bonking.
That's what I was thinking of. But that costs a key to get to, and I don't know if that would have been in logic. I guess not, because I could have opened. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure how the key logic works.
I think that one needs every key, unless it has a key in it.
I think it works different when it's not entrance or when it's not insanity or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure.
When's V32? Somebody ping Sinek.
Anyway,
awful
we asked Skilly before the other 3 of you got here, but what did the rest of you think of this mode overall, since this is the first time it's been, raced publicly?
Well, I ran a really good seed, so I'm a fan. But
hey, it's better than inverted.
Yes, I agree with that statement.
Not by much, but I'm gonna be really disappointed if they don't axe inverted in the tournament, because that's 100% of the feedback that they've gotten so far is that they don't want inverted. So if they stick to inverted, it's gonna feel like they don't really care what people think.
I personally disagree with that. I think it's 100% of the people who've voiced an opinion. Everyone else is just sort of fine about inverted.
You should go there and say that you like inverted then, so it doesn't feel as one-sided.
Well, that entire Discord's toxic, so I'm taking a break for a hot minute, but maybe I'll go there tomorrow and put that opinion in there. Try to let people cool off a little bit. But no, to Drosy, to your question, I don't know, I enjoyed it. I need to do a better job of remembering what maps and compasses I have, so I'm not checking my menu in the middle of a dungeon to see if I can see what boss it is. But no, I'm always a fan of like boss Randomizer, so I enjoyed it.
We did appreciate the 1 or 2 mapless checks that we saw at the very beginning.
Don't call me out like that. That's just mean.
I would probably do it a lot more than you.
So we'll just keep quick swap disabled all the time, and then checking to see if you have the map or compass doesn't have to be a time loss. Like, I have to menu to the hammer anyway. I might as well check to see if I have the compass while I'm in the menu.
I didn't even think about that. That's smart.
The big brain play.
I didn't even check the red crystals when I was menuing to items. I had to go specifically to the menu to see if I had the red crystals.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those things where I told myself several of the things, like, hey, you don't have to bomb open Thieves Town. Some of my routing decisions may not have been as ideal just because I was too lazy to menu. But no, that's a good shout, Koi.
I also don't recall the Ice Palace bomb jump being that hard.
Yeah, you were just a little bit too high.
Yeah, I gave up on it.
You gave up on it and then you hovered, right? So
yes,
you did the thing that's much harder.
You say that.
Oh man. No, I gotta pop off. Big shout out to the restreamers, Drosy and Saturn. Thank you so much for commentating. Trackers, thank you also very much as well.
Thanks,
GG's everyone else too.
GG.
Thank you guys. That was a seed that rewarded good execution and big risk taking, and you guys did an excellent job. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. That was a fun one.
Yeah, GG's to all our runners, and thank you all for joining us here. And I think that'll do it. Nice quick evening here. As they all posted pretty low collection rates, I think Koi was the highest at 123, Skilly was the lowest at 114. Very tight range, though, for all of our 4 runners, and all quite low collection rates, all told. But yeah, if you liked what you saw here, we will be back at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with the Tournament Open Hard mode, its premiere. That's the mode that's going to be used in the qualifiers of the main tournament, which will begin on March 27th and also be broadcast on the Speed Gaming family of channels. Let's see if we have a channel for that tomorrow. Nope, you'll have to check the schedule. So please do follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6 to keep up to date with all that. Because, tomorrow at 2 and then Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, we'll be featuring that Tournament Open Hard mode so that runners who are aiming to participate in the tournament quals can get some practice on it in a group setting.
Thanks again also to our trackers. It's a tough job. Having attempted it once or twice myself, I know it's grueling, and good job to them. Thank you, Drossi, for having me here.
Thank you, Saturn, for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. I hope we get to do this again.
Yeah, likewise.
And once again, give our runners a follow. And thanks again to them. And thanks to you all for watching.
Yeah, have a great night, everyone.